I was fortunate enough to hear a presentation from a gentleman named Richard Florida several years ago. And part of his speech was, how can you make a more, creative, how can you build the creative class in Duluth? Well, one of the best ways that he promoted was a tolerant society. And I do believe that is one thing the city of Duluth definitely needs to work on. We need to promote the diversity of the community as best we can. I live in the hillside, and one of the things that I would love to do as a city councilor is to better promote the diversity that we have in that neighborhood. I think it's what makes that neighborhood unique. It's why I love to live there. One of the ideas that I've always had is I'd love to increase even the size of the Juneteenth event example. I think it's a great event every summer, and I'd love to see even more people at it. So, I think that's something that we continue to just have to, like I said, just better promote these things. I would love to see more festivals like that throughout the year, because we need to work on our tolerance in the city of Duluth. Beth is dead right. There is definitely a racism problem in the city. I hate to say it, but I've been to so many doors in the city where they say, I don't want to sound racist, and then they say a very racist comment. I would love to door knock in a couple of years and not have that happen again, because we need to work on that in this city.
Thank you. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that racism doesn't just exist in Duluth. We all know that. It exists everywhere, and it's been around since, I'm sure, the beginning of humankind. And so we need leaders who embrace all our citizens. Especially when I'm running for city council, my job will be to represent all its citizens. Race, that's not even something to be considering. However, if there are needs, and I know they're out there, for certain members of our community, my first job would be to sit down with you, Henry. I want to hear what's going on in your world. If you're seeing struggles, you should let us know, and we should come together and figure out how we're going to address this together. We, as leaders, we embrace our whole community. I believe in everybody in this community. I believe we all have our unique qualities and strengths, and we need to get beyond the color of our skin and figure out how we can support each other. When I talk about job creation and how we can do a better job in the city to provide opportunities for our citizens, I'm talking about everybody. It doesn't matter what color skin you have. You deserve the best possible life that you can have for yourself and your family. So my job as a counselor would be to sit down with you and say, what can we do together to make it work for all of us?
I know you were asking really specifically, what are we going to do on a city council? How are we going to look at this as a very real community problem? And I'm going to say, first of all, that I really wish that I would wish that I had a better answer to this question. But I think I would if I started tackling the problem, if I started addressing it and working on it. I believe that the city council has a definite role in this issue because it affects our entire city. It doesn't just affect the people who are affected, it affects every single one of us, that this is the community that we're living in that allows for this to happen. And so I think the city council has to provide leadership in that arena, that when there are good community projects, that we are partnering actively on supporting those projects, and that when we have allocation of resources, let's say through our CDBG money, that some of them that can go in a certain direction where there is the most need, that it should go there. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of concrete things the city can do, but I think personally, as a city council and as a member of the community, that there's a lot that I can do. And that just means being very, very active in the process. Working in nonprofits for 17 years, one thing I've really learned is that things that seem impossible really are possible. And that there are a lot of things that when there's these problems and we think, what are we going to do about that? And everyone worries, and that's never going to change, and it's always the same, and no one can do anything. That there really are solutions to those problems, and those solutions come when people sit down together and they work on them. And when there's a friendly face on a city council, that when those problems exist, that you can go to and you can just, there's a friendly face, someone who was willing to, someone who understands and is willing to sit down and help figure it out. I think that's what I would want to do on the city council, and I wish I had even a better answer, to be honest.
Thank you.